Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mitra Sukhihoto. I'm Aliana and welcome once again to Sutta discussion. Today is day 37 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Tonight we are going to discuss the 12th session of Sigālovāda Sutta, which is the 4th sutta from the total of 10 suttas that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. For those who have missed our previous classes, kindly check on the previous videos on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook page and YouTube channel. The Sutta discussion Zoom class is still open, therefore whoever that wish to join the class where we can engage directly with Bhante can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook Messenger. We are welcoming newcomers. Now please allow me to introduce about our speaker. Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima currently is the Senior Advisor at Ti-Ratana Canada, a virtual Dharma organization that helps beginner as well as expert students in learning Dharma in variety of ways. Many people are interested in Dhamma Pariyesana, Patisotta's most acclaimed interview series, which Bhante conduct on regular basis. You can check on Patisotta with the link www.patisotta.blogspot.com. Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima earned his PhD in Buddhist Studies in 2015 from University of Sri Jayawardenepura in Sri Lanka. From 2012 till 2015, Bhante served as Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And in 2016, Bhante was a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society of the University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante and thank you very much for the wonderful talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana, for the introduction. Welcome back, everybody, to the discussion. And today we're going to be having day 37 and the 12th class of the Sigālovāda Sutta. So first of all, I wanted to thank everyone for wishing me for my birthday yesterday. So that was very beautiful. So I'm very thankful. On the other hand, today we will be moving on to slightly, I would say, probably the most important part of the Sigālovāda Sutta. I would say, especially, the responsibilities part, actually, shifting from friends and then moving towards responsibilities among different, sets of people, right? These sets of people are none other than us, right? So we play different roles at different times. See, okay, so let's pay homage to Buddha and then start. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. So today we have Bella, Aliana, Sadhu is Lim. I think Lim is connecting everything on the way. So be safe all the time. Then very grateful to you too, Aliana, for everything. And she's doing a lot of things, uploading videos and then announcing many things. So a huge thank to you too all the time. And Hazel and Sadhu, I think a few more might be joining as we proceed. And it's got Hema too. Hazel and her mother. What's her name, Hazel? Okay, great. So let's take a look at, oh, I got a message from Kim. Kim is on the way. I think she has been traveling, I guess. She's been traveling somewhere. So probably she might join. So we have to continue from number guess number 13, like in the Pali document, right? Number 13. But before we proceed to that point, could you see that there are some verses before, I would say between number 13 and the place where we left out? Can you see those stanzas? I'm not going to do all that. They are pretty much a summary of what we've been doing. But I would like to point out the last verse, which has a very interesting idea. Actually, this verse is always reflected in the banks of Sri Lanka. If you go to some banks, most of the public banks, they display this verse. The idea here is how to manage our finances. Is it a good thing to discuss? Is it very, very important to us? There is a Buddhist thought as to how we are supposed to manage finances. But there's a caution that I want to say before we start off this. Now, don't take the literal idea of the portions of, how to manage our finances, but get the idea. The idea is very important. Let me tell you how it has to be understood. Ekena bhoge buncheya dvihi kammang payochaye chatuttancha nidhapeya apadasu bhavissati. Now, it is said that our money or wealth has to be broken into four, I would say, four parts. Let's say you earn your money or wealth on a monthly basis, and then you are looking at four directions to spend or probably set aside all that money. It is said, as a Buddhist in this context, only 1/4 of that money should be used for oneself. Right? Now, this is kind of a very funny example, but let's say you make $1,000. You break $1,000 into four parts, 250, right? 250. So in that example, you use $250 for your very personal stuff. Dvihi kammang payoje. Dvihi means two parts. That means $500, right? That means 2/4 need to be payoje, used for investment, business investment. That is not for your immediate personal use, right? Now there is, how many portions are left already? Only one portion, right? Chatuttancha, that's the fourth portion. Chatuttancha nidhapeyana. The last portion, the fourth portion, has to be, I would say, kept for your emergency. I would say for your future. We'd never know. We don't need to lend money from other people, right? Hey, give me some money. Gonna be a troublemaker from other people, right? Not to beg from other folks. So the idea, you have to take the idea, not the literal meaning. Like, let's say you make $5,000 every month, but those $5,000 you can broken into 5 sections right away, right? But the idea is that never use all the money for personal use right away. Actually, the rest of the three, uses are also for yourself. But the idea is that you're gonna save, you're gonna invest, you're gonna use that for the future. That's very important to all of us. Okay. So with that in mind, we will proceed to number 13, Chaddisa Patichadana Kanda. So who would like to read? So I want somebody to read the first para, but our idea is coming at a part of the second para. But let's start from number 30. So who would like to read? Chaddisa, let me translate for you. Chaddisa means 6 directions, and Patichadana means covering the 6 directions. That means we may have some fears coming from these 6 directions. They are the different relationships between, I would say, in our life. So if you don't fulfill the responsibilities attached to these responsibilities, then fear always comes towards you, right? Patichadana means you're going to cover the fears by fulfilling your responsibilities. Okay, so would like to read the first para 30. Sadhris, you want to try? I think I heard that you are trying, you are getting ready. So yeah, please unmute your mic and then go ahead. Katancha. Yeah, please unmute your mic.
Oh, I have problem with the long words to break down. Okay, I can try.
Wait a second. Aliana, did we miss one? Oh, yeah. Thank you for the reminder, though. Okay, so yeah, we will discuss the 4th friend. And so there was a mistake here. We had to finish the 4th friend. Anukampaka Metta. So can you just go to number 12? It's going to be the last friend. Chatuhiko Gahapati Buddhatanehi Anukampako Metta, the last friend. Can you see that, please?
Yes. Chatuhiko Gahapati Buddha Tanehi Anukampako Mitto Suhado Veditabbo Abe we nasa na nanditi bahawen nasa naditi avenam bahanam manam niva reti wanam baha bahanam pas samati pasammatsati imeho ko gahapati putta chatuhi tanehi anukampako mitto suhado veditabbo ti.
Okay, great.
Such a struggle.
Not a struggle, I guess. Some words, right? Some words
Yes.
are little long, actually.
Yes.
Arya, thank you for pointing out. Okay. Chatuhiko Gahapati Putta Tanehi Anukampako Mittu Suhado Veditab. Abhave Nasa na Nandati. Bhave Nasa Nandati. Avannang Bhasamanang Nivareti. Vannang Bhasamanang Pasangsati. The rest is the same. Imehiko Gahapati Putta Chatuhitanehi Anukampako Mittu Suhado Veditabbo. So I think today let's then talk about this friend only. So then we can start off the 6 directions from next week, right? Because we have to talk a lot about this friend. So we'll still keep the day for this friend, Anukampaka friend. So this friend is the last friend. I would say the good friend. There are 4 good friends, right? So the last good friend. Let me, I think probably I can ask somebody to read the English translation. It's going to be 25th. Yeah, who would like to read? Number 25th. Yeah.
The compassionate friend can be identified by 4 things: by not rejoicing in your misfortune, delighting in your good fortune, preventing others from speaking ill of you, and encouraging others who praise your good qualities.
The compassionate friend can be identified by four things: by not rejoicing in your misfortune, delighting in your good fortune, preventing others from speaking ill of you, and encouraging others who praise your good qualities. Okay, let's see how these four qualities are going to be really working from a good friend. First of all, let's identify the term called anukampaka. Anybody has encountered this word in your Pali studies or probably your readings? This particular word, anukampaka. Does anukampaka mean anukampa or anukampaka? Actually, anukampaka means the person who does that. But anukampa is, does anukampa mean compassion? Yeah. Does anukampa mean compassion? Because now here the translation goes compassionate friend, right? So in Pali, we have to specify the meanings, right? Otherwise, let's say you can say, metta is kindness, who cares? Unless you read about it. The metta is kindness. Probably metta should be generosity. There's no harm, right? Nobody says anything. Only somebody who knows Pali might say, oh, no, metta is not generosity. Metta is not kindness. Right? Metta is friendliness, loving kind. There are different particular specific meanings. So what is anukampa? Because from anukampa, the person who has anukampa is called anukampaka. Okay, anukampaka. Any idea about what anukampa means or anukampaka means? In English, we have, we have a word called empathy, right? We have a word called empathy. So we need to empathize. I would say we need to be empathetic, right? So anukampa means empathy. So that means the fourth good friend is the one who empathizes. Who empathizes. Now, what does empathy mean or empathizing mean? Now, let's say one of your friends is going through a hard time, right? And then you are trying to put you in their shoes, right? You try to feel the pain, what it is like in that person's life. You're gonna think about, what if I have to go through this pain? How will I be facing this? Not I would say different than my friends, right? So you're trying to see what you call. You try to feel the pain of the difficulty of your friend, how it is going through in his or her life. So anukampaka means they're not the compassionate one, but the empathetic friend. He is an empathetic friend. So let's say, I know this, when some friends talk to you, say, you know what, today I have a very hard time, this person did this to me, and he or she spoke ill of me. And then if you're trying to say, you know what, I think you also made a mistake, that's why they are like that. Really? Why don't you take my side? You're so bad, you should take my side. Stand for me, right? So the empathy, like they don't like you to solve the problem. They simply want to feel that you are part of their life, and somebody is defending you. Because empathy has that part. Okay. Actually, we like that, right? Let's say after a very busy day, I would say depressing day, stressful day, you want to talk to someone, probably the person who you really feel that you can be open up, maybe your husband, maybe your wife, maybe a friend, I don't know, whoever, maybe your family relatives. You feel that you are being taken care, your emotions are being taken care. And then And then you are not being taken as an outsider, commoner. He or she thinks that, hey, what happened to you? I think he or she should not have done that to you. Right? It's really bad. I also feel bad about this particular, like you, probably more than you. So this empathetic nature is what we all expect, depending on our wisdom. Let's say, if you are someone who is kind of weak in your emotions, you might expect a lot that from your friend. But if you are a strong person, you might only share the incident, but not expecting a lot of stuff. But definitely in our life, we should have empathetic friends, and we should be able to empathize for other folks. So then what is compassion? Anybody wants to guess? If anukampa is empathy, then what is compassion? You know that, huh? I know you know it, but you don't know how to put it on the table. What is compassion? Compassion is karuna. Karuna. It's a very famous Pali word. Metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. Karuna. So karuna is compassion, right? So the practical context of karuna is kindness. Kindness is the practical way. Let's say, if you look back today, if you want to think about how many people you've been kind, compassionate, you might say, you don't say I was compassionate to friends. You say, I was kind to a couple people on the way. I was very kind. I was kind to a couple people. I was kind to, these people, right? Somebody, maybe on the way I did something, right? So there's a clear difference between empathy and compassion, for the reason that we have to understand anukampa and karuna are two different contexts. Have you ever heard this difference before? Or you just put everything together? They all are same. They are not same. They are two different contexts. Now you might wonder, how do they combine together? They combine together in a context where when you keep being empathetic towards somebody, then you are going towards compassion. That means the smaller version of compassion is empathy. You start compassion from empathy. Larger version of empathy is compassion. Now, for example, in order for you to be compassionate, you need to do some activities. You need to do some acts. In order for you to be empathetic, you don't need to do a lot of things. You just feel the pain, the difficulty of the other person. It's pretty easy. So I would say there are many empathetic people than the compassionate ones, because if you want the compassion, if you want to be compassionate, you need to do something. For example, you are thinking about the what you call food insecurity in some countries. Let's take some African countries. You know that there are children dying because of the dearth of the food, right? So, but you can't do a lot. Why is it? You don't have that much money, right? You might perhaps say, I don't have that much money. You can probably help out a bunch of kids, but not everybody. So you have the empathy, you have anukampa towards them. But there may be somebody who might say, I'm going to take care of 1,000 kids. Their means. He's going there. He's actively engaging in organizations like UN and this kind of stuff. Probably Red Cross, right? So that's more towards the compassion. So that means we should act out on our reasons for being empathetic. Now, the relevance of anukampa arises here in the form of a friend. So you have a friend, or you are an empathetic friend. Maybe you have a friend who is empathetic, who empathizes on you. What's the first characteristic? There are 4, like before. The first characteristic of an empathetic friend is abhave nassa na nandati. What is abhave? Abhava. What is abhava? Abhava means your what's the English translation given here? By not rejoicing in your misfortune. Let's say your misfortune, your I would say downfall. Let's say your I would say your failures. That's a good way. Failures, your misfortunes. Sometimes misfortunes come no matter what. What about the failures? You're trying to do something, but finally you fail from maybe an exam, maybe a job, maybe business adventure, right? So anukampaka friend never is going to be happy about it. It's really sad about what happened to you, right? It's a wholehearted feeling, really sad about. But there are people who might say, I'm very sad, but inside of them they are happy. There are maybe some people, I don't know, I mean, there may be. That's a really that is Buddhism actually. Buddhism is not basically a physical thing. A lot of people think Buddhism is going to a temple and offer a flower and do some dana and come back and do some donation. It is just a part of it. We have to do that. There's no problem. But real Buddhism is to develop our insight. If we still have lots of jealousy, lots of harmful thoughts, that means although you go to a temple for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you are not going to be a Buddhist, right? Otherwise, you are a part of that colorful Buddhism, flag Buddhism, right? A lot of statue Buddhism, right? We need that too, just to continue our legacy of the ancient monks, nuns, and all these people. But in real Buddhism, we should be able to manage our good thoughts, right? I would say let go of any evil thoughts. So if you have an empathetic friend, he or she never gonna be happy when you fail. Really sad about those situations. That's the first one. May I ask you a question? Have you ever encountered a situation where you failed that one of your friends probably is not like this? Have you ever witnessed in your life? You are not bold enough to tell me, but probably there may be people like that, maybe, because we don't need to, open up those wounds, right? We have to heal them, right? Because you are now going well, you are progressing, so I don't need to go back, right? But there may be people, it's not your fault. It is because of their issues in their lives, right? Number one. Number two, bhave nassa nandati. What is bhave nassa? Bhava means here your success, right? Your success, right? Your success, I would say your progress, right? So your friend, empathetic friend, is very happy when you are rising, when you are progressing, when you are winning, right? It doesn't mean that he or she is going to hate your competitors, but he or she is simply very happy because you are rising, you are making your goals, making your wishes come true, right? Because he or she knows you a lot. Any questions about those two? Because this is a very interesting, very important, not like a literal point of discussion, because we have to bring this to our life. What are your thoughts about these two? Do you have these friends in your life? Do you have these friends like always worry about your failures and happy about it? I think you should have at least one good friend like this. At least. Don't talk about the bad guys. At least one, right? Because we don't want to look at people who are not like this, because we may come up with hatred towards them, right? Anger. Why are they like this? Right. Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Any perceptions about these two? Yeah, Sadhris?
if I won't be truthful to myself,
Mhm.
I can say I practice it from my younger days all the way till now. I've been having a lot of empathy for people. I'm helping out every opportunities I get. I also can reach, I can roughly know, my instinct can know that the person is in trouble. I'll support, I'll sympathize him, give him advice. A lot of them appreciate it. But sometimes you get disappointed after all the help you give. But that's the way life is, no? Now you have to understand it.
Mhm.
Because my younger days, I've gone through a lot of struggle, suffering. I never even go to school. In fact, I never attend school. I don't have the money because of my downfall of my father. So I know what is suffering. So every time when I see somebody in trouble, either in the workplace, anywhere, I'll support. Then 20 years ago, I said, it's enough, it's enough. I quit. Until now, I'm not working. So I don't stay away from society. I live just simple. But still, I do whatever charity I can do. When I hear, like, in COVID time, I kept sending about $1,000 over here, there, everywhere to support. And I feel good about it. And if I go somewhere, always I try to share my Dhamma way of talking, like whatever I can. And a lot of them hug me and say, even my own father now speak to me in this way. And when they have heavy sickness and all that, they hug me and tell me, now I know, after talking to you, I understand why I'm suffering and all that. Because I explain it my own way, because I'm not well versed in speaking and putting words, but the simple language which I can put in, a lot of them appreciate it. And all the way, I've been doing that.
Mhm.
I'm very proud of what I did. And I also encourage others and inspire others. Why don't we live as a human? Because I keep telling them, all humans deserve dignity and pride and happiness. I always send that message to everybody who I talk to. And the best part is, I don't know why I'm always attracted to people like this, no? When they need help, they know who to choose to come for. But at the same time, some take the kindness for weakness. That's why I draw the line and say enough is enough. But I'm always looking forward. Even sometimes in my prayers, I always ask, if I go somewhere, if I never achieve what I'm looking for, please let me do something which is worth the day, not just simply waste the time. And it comes true. I even help when on that occasion when I did the prayers and go out, I didn't meet my goal which I'm looking for, but I saw somebody who's going to commit suicide. I helped her, and the police give me a very good recommendation saying that because of me, she never commit suicide. So I help her to come back to realization of what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm doing it all throughout because I'm a little bit different, but it's out of the topic we are talking to, because I've been helped by some guardian in the way.
Mhm.
Because of my troubles and all that, I've been helped. And they guide me every time when if I do something which is not right, it reminds me, think twice, what are you doing? Is it okay? But the last decision is me to decide whether right or wrong. But so far, I'm very sure. I even asked, he said, so far you're doing good. So I'm trying to improve along the way.
Yeah, great. That's a great way of looking at your past and then how you've been doing is good stuff. And one of the most important things I notice in your life is that you are not somebody who is trying to pass the wounds that happen to you to the next. There are people in society who struggle a lot, but sometimes they think that they want to pass them down to other folks, right? Difficulties, failures, tears, frustrations.
That is the
Yes.
challenge. That's the challenge that I'm looking forward. Any bad karma, anything come, I'll take it. I'll face it. Because without that, there's no meaning of life. The more you challenge, the better you are, and the more understanding and wisdom grows further and further. You know?
Yeah, great. That's
And
a good way
even
of.
without friends, even without much friends, it doesn't matter because I prefer to be alone because isolation is better than sitting around with, I can call it idiots, put it there, rather be alone. And then just simply having hypocrites and those people who are always negative. I stop people who talk negative because I can sense, and sometimes people don't like to talk to me is because I'll tell them straight in the face that you are a hypocrite and I'd rather not be with you. So I'm too straightforward because I'm holding on a principle of truthfulness, honesty, and many of them are holding on very strongly. That's why I always, if I do something, I always hold on to the handbrake, I call it handbrake. When I go wrong, I quickly pull it up. So I stop there and rectify myself. And I always like to observe people and ask questions. Why are they behaving this way? Why they get angry? So that's also I'm learning at the same time, no?
Yeah, multiple ways to learn from your story too. Anybody else who wants to add how does empathetic friend influence us by ways of not being happy when you stumble, fail in your personal life or social life, and then when empathetic friend is going to be very happy when you get going in your life. Anybody wants to add anything? That's a difficult question, right? It's a very difficult question. It's very difficult to find such friends, huh? But I hope that you should have at least one or two such friends. Empathetic friend. Yeah. Hello, Hema. How are you? You should be having lots of empathetic friends, huh?
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yeah,
We've been talking
especially,
empathetic friends.
brothers and sisters in the temple and friends that are really close, that really, I think empathetic friends is important. They really, it's good to really put each other's shoes when in trouble. Then you can really feel it. That's where the feeling really comes in to really know and 100% feeling of the problem. I think this is a very good quality to have, and giving a ear to person who need the space to really have a talk or have something to reflect over to see how to overcome issues in the life.
There was
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel that it's very important to this quality on being a good friend. This is really a good reminder that it's really important to have as a quality as a friend to people and to oneself with others as well. I find it's very important to be empathetic. Then we can really feel it. Go through any crisis.
Recently, I was listening to a podcast between two Sri Lankan, how would you call them? YouTubers? They are much more mature. It was a much more mature discussion, actually. They were talking about a punishment which was given by a teacher, school teacher, to kids, school children. So they were talking, should we punish them as we were punished when we were small, right, in our school, like caning, spanking and all that. So they were discussing about lots of people still think that we have to bring the legacy of punishing children and then thinking that that is essential in parenting, right? So probably it's not a big deal. I mean, we know that punishing is not good at all in today's world, anywhere in the world. Perhaps the most important thing out of the discussion was that, to bring the legacy, not legacy, to bring the, I would say, those ways of torturing, I would say bullying, torturing, caning, probably torturing methods of, activities, probably experiences to our friends, to our experiences. Let's say, there may be somebody who was tortured by his or her family when they were small, maybe bullied by, maybe criticized too much. So that person might not have healed from the wound, right? Maybe he or she is really doing well now in her job, in his activity, but still such negative moments are haunting in his or her life, right? So when the moment comes up and he or she might make opportunities to bully others professionally, like you catch them right away, but you don't know that there's somebody who is pressing too much, right? So I think the first two characteristics of the empathetic friend has much more to think about, rather than thinking that I have an empathetic friend, he or she is always happy when I get going in my life, succeeding, and he or she is not happy when I'm not making things happen the way I expect, hitting my goals, right? So I think one of the reasons why a lot of people cannot be empathetic is that their childhood experiences, their life experiences, probably the past life too, right? Because Buddhism is not one life thing, right? In Buddhism, we talk about the samsara, then that means billions, trillions of lives, right? Recently, I watched a video. Somebody is talking about the death, like when somebody dies, I think from a research from a university, that 8 grams of something of the body is going out. Talking about that. What is that? When somebody passes away, 8 grams of the weight suddenly disappears from the body. What is it? She's talking about this could be the consciousness. It's kind of a memory thing. Goes away from the body. Like a tiny loss of our weight. Somebody might argue maybe this is because there is no blood working, but there are things. So I think these experiences from this life, past life, they still come to us, but we should be able to heal. Like Sadhis mentioned, we need to heal. Let's say you had a bad experience in your life, right? Now there are no people like that in your life. They already gone from your life. And you are not the same person. You have come to a very good life with other people. You have been married. Maybe you have been working very well. You will never go to that life again. So why do you want to bring that again and ruin the rest of your life? You have to heal from that, right? So the reason why many people cannot be empathetic is that they are not going to be happy with others because they have so many bad experiences in their I would say life, probably early in their life, probably what they are struggling, So the school teacher who punished that high school student had an argument with the wife before he comes to the school. So because he could not do anything to her, he was so mad, and then he did it, right? See where the problem is going after that. So we have to heal from our emotions, otherwise we're gonna burst at a place where we don't know, right? Okay, so we already discussed two aspects of the empathetic friend, and this also connects to a very good Dhamma matter. What is it? Jealousy, right? If you have jealousy, you won't be able to be happy. So jealousy is a very big concept in Buddhist teachings. What are the immediate and long-term karmic consequences for those who are jealous? There are many consequences given by the Buddha in suttas, like Chulakamibanga Sutta. What is it? If you are jealous, what will be the consequences to you in Buddhism? You will get skin diseases. It is said that. Because there is a skin disease, you go to many dermats, you don't get any you don't get any treatment going well. Because some skin diseases are not, I'm not saying that all those who are struggling, they had a problem with karma. It is said in Chulakamibanga Sutta, that's the reason. And if you are angry all the time, you will become unpleasant to others. I'm not saying ugly. Like everybody is beautiful in their own way. Unpleasant to others. So those people who have a very beautiful, I would say, pleasantness, people who were not angry that much, right? This is a good lesson, right? Now we're going to be spending probably a couple more decades. So let's be smiling and happy, right? Why won't you take this pressure, right? So the Buddha said, those people who are not pleasant, not that petite, ugly, handsome, beautiful stuff, pretty. I'm saying pleasant, unpleasant. Everybody is pleasant. Everybody is beautiful in their own way. But the pleasantness, sometimes there are very beautiful people, but we don't feel that they are beautiful. Their impression, the way that they are talking, probably their whole presentation gives us a very, different feeling. Okay, so jealousy is highly attached to empathy because if you are jealous, you won't be able to be empathetic. Okay, the third characteristic is avannang banamanang nivare. What is avannang? Avannang? Someone who is speaking bad about you. Are there people who talk bad about you? Who knows, right? We never know, right? We never know. Sometimes we don't want to know too, right? If we know, then there is a problem, right? Right? But there are people who are very very excited to know, to know from other people. What did he tell me about this? What did she tell me? What was her opinion about me? Huh? They're very conscious. Like those people who want to ask from Hindu sannyasis, what was my past life? Who was I? Who I'm gonna be in my next life? Hey, this is my palm. Tell me my future. Nice. The Buddha said these are part of the Sakkaya Ditthi. I mean, you could do this for fun. It's okay. Let's say you go somewhere, somebody knows palm history. Yes, why not? It's okay. But there are people who are so much badly excited to know about the past, right? So avannang means someone who is talking bad about you, right? I know there are people who always say, if you're trying to tell me about something bad that somebody told about me to you, don't tell me anything because I'm getting upset about it. So just keep it as it is. I don't want to hear that, right? So it's like that. So the third characteristic here then means that when somebody is speaking bad about you to your empathetic friend, he or she prevents that person by saying, don't talk like this. He or she is a good person. Do you have such friends? When somebody is talking bad about you, he or she is going to defend you. If you are like that, you are a very convincing person, right? Then nobody is able to talk bad about you. Every time somebody tells, hey, don't talk like that. My friend is he's a good friend. Maybe not my friend. He or she is a good friend. You never do like that. That's a very good trust you created among your friends, right? So, anukampaka friend prevents others saying bad about you. How to do that? He's not simply defending you. Let's say somebody is saying, you're that guy, XYZ person or lady did that to you, probably. Then you are saying, no, he's not like that. I know this person for 20, 30, maybe long term. I know he or she would not do such things. So you are giving that impression right away. So then the people who is hearing that at that point will not be misled by that person's rumor. That's a very good thing. If you don't have an empathetic friend, that means even people who talk bad about you, they are not real. Other people will most likely accept that rumor. That means we really need empathetic friends. You're going to actually help us, right? If you don't have empathetic friends, that means you are in trouble because you have no defense. You are a very good person, but you don't have help. Other people going to suspect you. Remember when Bhante Anand asked the Buddha, there was an incident. Remember the woman called Sundari Paribrajika? Sundari? Sundari is I would say, was a woman who was trapped to conspiracy by the Jains. Okay, so the Jains wanted to I would say, blame the Buddha, probably insult the Buddha. So what they did was they asked Sundari to go to the temple every evening. Okay, so she was going to temple to the Jetanarama, probably for a couple months, and then they finally killed her. They killed Sundari and then buried her body near Jetanarama, and then spread a rumor among the people, devotees. See, Sundari went to the temple and she was raped and killed by your very respected Buddha and the monks. No proof, huh? Yeah, we have proof. Let's go to Jetanarama. This could be the place where they may have done. So they actually dug the place and they found the body. And everybody started blaming the Buddha. They're talking dispassion, right? How to get rid of craving. See, they are doing all this. They even kill such a barbaric act. So Buddha never said anything. He was very quiet. He was very quiet. Everybody was blaming him. And then after a couple days, Bhante Ananda, who was an unenlightened monk, told the Buddha, Bhante, can we leave the place? There's too many insults from the people who even give dana to us, right? The Buddha said, what if the same thing will happen in the city where we are going? So we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to stay here. So finally, what happened after a week of time, the king found out that this was done by the Tirthakas. Tirthakas means the followers of the Jains, right? See, even the Buddha had lots of troubles, not like you. You are much better than me. Did you have this kind of accusation from somebody? Did you have? I don't think so. Buddha experienced a lot of troubles, lots of troubles. Like, I would say they were not real. So this was one incident. I'm trying to say that the blame, insult that come from other folks, and he did not have even anukampaka friends at that time. Did somebody go to the crowd, public, and say, no, Buddha never do something like that? No, they could not convince anybody. They believed this was real because they found the body, right? So if you have I'm telling you the reasons that you really need to have empathetic friends. But be careful, there are friends who simply protect you. You are a bad person, they're going to defend you. No, don't say like that. They are not empathetic friends. They are just doing things for selfish reasons. They want to get something out of you. When you don't do that, they're going to go to the opposite and say, you know what, I defended that person, but that's not the truth. So we have to find a real empathetic friend. Avannang bhanamanang nivareti means when someone is speaking bad about you, ill about you, your friend is going to convince that you are not like that. Fourth characteristic is vannang bhanamanang pasansati, the opposite. That means if somebody is saying that you are a very good person, very loving, very beautiful, very helpful, you are a helpful hand, a beautiful soul, and that person is going to say, yeah, I know, and no need to explain about him, his life or her life. I know them for long term, and then I agree to it. I agree with you or something, right? So they are very supportive. So now you understand, anukampaka friend has 4 characteristics. Number 1 is, he or she is never happy when you are not get going in your life, when you are not succeeding in your life, when you are not successful. They are not happy. And the second is they are very happy when you are progressing, when you are get going in your life, when you are succeeding, successful. Third is when other people talk bad about you, they're going to stop the rumors, gossiping. Probably they're going to convince others this is not true. And the last is when other people speak good about you, you are simply approving, helping, supporting, promoting those ideas. So everybody else knows. Probably somebody who even does not know about you. They hear this for the first time, but they also understand you are a good person. That's a very good thing, right? Very good, helpful remark actually. So these are the 4 ways to understand an anukampaka friend. Any questions, Dampaks? We have to discuss about a couple things too, but leaving that space, I'm letting you ask any questions about. Because this is the last good friend, huh? Because we're talking about 4 good friends: upakaraka, supportive; samana sukha dukkha, enduring friend; attakai, the counselor or the mentor. Today is the last anukampaka, which means the empathetic friend. Who is empathetic? While we are expecting these friends, we need to set us be these friends, huh? As much as we give to others. Otherwise, it's really selfish. Now you're expecting good people, but you're never going to be good, right? Yeah, any questions? Probably this one or we other friends. Because today we are going to finish about the friends, huh? Good, bad friends. Yeah, Hema?
Yeah, Bhante, just want to check to be delightful, delighting in their good fortune is same as rejoicing whatever good things that they have, right? Is it same as mudita?
That's a good point. So actually, we have to discuss about jealousy and then altruistic joy. These are the 2 opposite. Yeah. So yes, I mean, if they don't have jealousy, that means they definitely should have altruistic joy. Yeah,
So
that's true.
So to have these qualities of rejoicing whatever they have, so is also one of the supporting factor for being compassionate. Is it?
Empathetic, not compassionate, because
Oh,
anukampaka means
okay.
empathetic. Compassion is karuna. But
Karuna.
definitely you are moving towards karuna. Yeah. So that means less jealousy, because we can't say we don't have jealousy because we are still unenlightened. So we may have some jealousy, but maybe by degree. I mean, being less jealous, but more mudita, more altruistic joy. I would say more. I would say able to be happy when others get going. Like there are people who can't take it right away. You know, that impression when you hear that. Like normally, this is very interesting. Like jealousy normally arises among the same field people, right? If I would say, I mean, if you are working for the same company, right, and then if you have the same professions, right, you may have some jealousy, like in that context. Sometimes could be a gender problem too. Sometimes it could be a same motive, same objective. So mudita has to be found out depending on how you can address that particular issue. But definitely less jealousy and more mudita is what we want.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now I have follow-up questions because you brought up mudita. Okay. Where does jealousy stand in Buddhism? Now we go into an Abhidhamma question, because without Abhidhamma we can't talk about it. Where does jealousy stand in our, what do you call, I would say spirituality or,
In the mind,
yeah, in our mind, basically,
yeah, is the thought.
in our
Okay.
cognitive domains. Any thoughts?
So is in the mind first, because
Yeah, everything is what do you call mental in Buddhism, right? Yeah, thank you, Hazel. So everything is mental, but I'm asking where or what's the role that jealousy plays in our mind? Okay, to discuss that, we have to go to Abhidhamma. In Abhidhamma, it says there are 14 akusala. What are they called? Chittas or Cetasikas? Cetasikas. Okay. Cetasikas are the quality what you call the quality part of the mind. Chittas are the cognitive energies. So cognitive energies cannot stand without cognitive qualities. So also the cognitive qualities cannot stand without the cognitive energy, right? Let's say you have a how would I say, how to put it? Let's say you have you are a very good person, but you need energy to put that quality thing into your life, right? So in Abhidhamma it is said that Chitta and Chaitasikas always rise together, exist together, perish together, and take the same object. So now the problem here is then
On my side, I
Issa.
can hear.
Do you hear? Yeah. So in Abhidhamma it is said Chitta and Chaitasika. Chitta means just a thought. Chaitasika means the mental factor. I would say cognitive quality. The quality of
Okay.
the Chitta is Chaitasikas. They've been broken down into other parts. So there are 52 Chaitasikas. We don't going to talk about all that. So, but there are how many Akusala Chaitasikas? 14 Akusala Chaitasikas. Right? 14. Out of the 14, there are 4 common akusalas. That means every time you have an akusala, these 4 always contain in your thought. Let's say you are jealous, those 4 always there, in addition to jealousy. We call them Ahirika, Anuttappa, then Uddacha, and there's one other thing. Ahirika, Anuttappa, Uddacha, Avijja. That means you don't have moral shame. You don't care other people what they're going to say to you. You don't have what you call moral fear. And your mind is very restless. Yeah, definitely when you do bad things, your mind is very restless. And then you have this ignorance. In addition to these 4 universal 4 Akusala Chaitasikas, then the rest of the Akusalas combined function with these 4. So Issa comes under dosa category, not under the Lobha category. In Abhidhamma it is said, when you have Lobha, you should not have dosa. When you have dosa, you should not have Lobha. It's very interesting. Now in Sutta Pitaka, we don't understand that properly. We say, Lobha, dosa, moha, if I have to get rid of these 3, how I'm going to do that? When you are very greedy, that means you don't have dosa at that point. When you are very angry, you won't have the lobha at that point. But underlining of these 2, there is ignorance, avijja, that means moha. So issa, in Pali we call issa, that means jealousy, is a part of anger. Anger.
Yeah. So,
Kukkucha is also part of anger. Kukkucha means remorse, regret. How do we call that? It is anger. Now you are looking back to your life, you think that I should have done this differently. So you are angry about you. I could have done this differently. I'm very angry. I knew it, but I could not do it. So you have in the bottom of every remorse or regret, there is anger. That's why Abhidhamma says it is a dosa. Right? Then what about Issa? How do we take Issa as a part of dosa? Jealousy. How do we see the anger part? Is there an anger part? You are not happy about somebody or somebody's achievement. So you are angry about it. So it comes out as jealousy, but there's fundamentally anger. Yeah. It's pretty interesting to see that from the Abhidhamma perspective.
So it really come back to the core of greed, hatred, and delusion.
They all come back to the primary 3 poisons, Lobha, Dosa, Moha. Yeah. Now the Ditti, now the biggest problem we have is Ditti. We have views. I mean, you talk about something, I don't care what you think. This is what I think, right? These views, they come from greed, not from anger, not from dosa. Why is it? I am greedy for what I hold, what I think in my life. Ditti, it is a part of Lobha. And Mana, what is Mana? Measuring other people. It is also part of Lobha because you are trying to measure. So, okay, so we should not go to a deeper level of Abhidhamma, but I'm trying to say jealousy is a part of dosa, anger, hatred.
Hatred.
So that means if you have anger, you may go to these expanded versions of. Now you might question something else. When I'm jealous, do I still have anger? Yes. Let's say you are angry, simply angry, you are just simply angry about something. But when you are jealous, that means you still have the anger. As an expanded version, you also have the what do you call jealousy. So is the kukucha. When you are repenting on something, regretting about something, remorseful, that means you still have anger. On top of that, you have regret. So Abhidhamma explains, analyzes, and synthesizes all these structures for us to think about how they really work in our mental structures. Okay, so that is jealousy. What about the opposite of the anecdote to jealousy? That is mudita. Where do we find mudita? Where do we find mudita?
That.
Is Hema? Pardon me? Yeah, I don't hear you. Probably are breaking up. Yeah, where do we find mudita in, let's say, to talk about any Dhamma matter, we have to say that mudita is under this, maybe it comes under this list classification. So where do we find mudita? Interesting question.
In the Brahma Vihara?
Brahma Viharas. If we do find it in Brahma Vihara. What is Brahma Vihara? What is Brahma?
Spiritual, high spiritual qualities to have.
Yeah, that is correct. At the same time, a higher life. Now, Brahma is a person. The Buddha said, don't depend on the Maha Brahma, the person, but lead a higher life. Higher life means those who can bring their lives to 4 qualities, they are spending a higher life. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka. And I think this is an ascending order. That means Metta is easier than Karuna. Is it true? Yes. Now you can spread Metta anywhere, right? People do that. Even the most angry person can do it, right? You don't need to think about one particular person. So you do it unconditionally. But when you bring you to Karuna level, can you do it without a particular reference? No, you should have a reference. You have to think about somebody's difficulty. Now, if we know empathy is the smaller version, then if you go to Karuna, compassion, definitely you should have a reference. So you have to think about somebody, right? So that means Karuna is a step higher than Metta. Now, just because I say that, don't just drop Metta and go to Karuna, right? We have to go like in ascending order. We have to do Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka simultaneously, as much as you could. And then what about Mudita?
Yes.
Mudita? Mudita means to be able to be happy without being angry about other people's life, without being unhappy. Actually, when there's a Sanskrit book called Astanga Hridaya in Ayurveda, Sanskrit, it says that people don't understand the real way of being jealous. It is said that when you are jealous, that means you really need it. So go for it. Don't waste your time. Let's say you are unhappy about somebody, right? If you know you want it, just go for it. Don't waste your time by having lots of immoral thoughts about her or him. You are wasting your time, right? Because every time you are jealous, being jealous means you can't understand what's going on. You never thought this, right? So it's a waste of time. And then upekka means it's the highest quality in Buddhism. That means you are able to stay balanced in your thinking. It's a very high thinking. It's part of jhana too. So mudita is the solution to jealousy. So empathetic person has less jealousy, probably little to no jealousy, and more mudita. more equanimity, more altruistic joy, right? So that's pretty interesting. Any questions about this? Otherwise, we're gonna go in a couple of minutes for the transfer of merits. I think jealousy and what do you call altruistic joy are very interesting topics. Really interesting topics.
Bhante,
Yeah, Brother Lim.
for the just now four Brahma Vihara, the Metta, Karuna, Mudita. Normally for Metta, we know we can do the Metta meditation or just thinking someone just. Then how about training from Karuna, Mudita, and others? Equanimity. How do any method to train or practice or to do it to increase our energy to a higher level?
Yeah, I think it's an internal skill that we have to make in our life. I think the references, because the references are different from one to one, say the reasons or cases where you want to be compassionate could not be the reasons for other person to be compassionate. So the way, if you ask me a shortcut, in Buddhism, there are no shortcuts. Say, cut the cut part, cut the short part. It's a process. So the thing is that I think we are not able to be compassionate because we don't know empathy sometimes. And if we can bring empathy to compassion, that means we are looking at the incident broadly, wider. I think people who are not compassionate, maybe even empathetic, they are people who have a very, I would say, short thinking, who have a very narrow perspective. So I think if you ask me the question like that, I would say broaden your perspective, like open up your horizons of your thinking, think a little wider, not only the way that you want such things to happen in your life. Because, okay, let me say vipassana attitude. That would be the best way. Because vipassana means that you are seeing things as they are, not seeing as you are. That is subjective thinking, subjectifying. So when you objectifying, that means you see things as they are. They are very distinct. Now you might think, I remember the one incident. There was a lady who brought a baby long time ago to an office. And then those good Samaritans going to ask, what do you want? I don't have milk powder for my baby. Oh, really? Yes, but we're going to make it. But we're going to buy the ensure or whatever, the milk powder, but you have to come here every time your baby needs milk. Right? That's what they say. So they might think that she's going to sell the milk powder to somebody, maybe it's not real. You know, like different people think the need differently, right? So probably they could have given the whole milk powder to her, right? So I think probably the group of people had a bad experience with somebody, man or woman, before. So they think this woman will be the same, this man will be the same, right? So I think we have to widen our perspective so that we are able to be more compassionate, regardless of whether they cheat on us or not, right? Yeah, so that's a way to practically apply compassion, because none of the Buddhist concepts are being able to practice simply from the books or Dhamma talks. They're not going to work. You will hear multiple billions of talks, but only to the knowledge. So the application is the most important. I think you have to broaden your perspective, right? So that you are more compassionate, right? More compassionate about that particular thing.
Bhante, I heard from Sutta discussion class once, the Bhante said that the quality of the Brahma Vihara we can see in the relationship from normally the parents and their children.
You mean
You can-
our conversation or somebody else's conversation?
Yeah, you can see the metta, mudita,
Yeah.
karuna, upeka in the relationship from the parents mostly to their
Okay.
children.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think that's the very easier way to understand the Brahma Vihara.
Yeah,
What do you think, Bhante?
that's a good point. Yeah, because Buddha said they are Brahmas. Parents are Brahmas. Why is it? He was giving that as a solution, as an argument to the Brahmins. What do Brahmins say about our birth in Hindu philosophy? What do they say? In Indian philosophy, I would say the Vedas, what do they say about our birth? They say we are bornly falling into caste. So people who born out of the mouth of the Mahabrahmin are the Brahmins, the higher caste. And there are other people who came out of his arms, hands, his whatever. The Buddha said, no, that's not going to be true. Nobody is going to be applied to caste by birth. Everybody is very good by birth, right? If you want to say that there is a Brahmin who created you, it's none other than your parents. That is why he used the Mahabrahma narrative to the parents. Now we can say, as you said, okay, our parents naturally have metta, karuna, mudita, apeka. Yes, yeah, there's no doubt. But there are some exceptional instances too. There are some parents who just given birth to child, they left their babies somewhere, right? In some countries, I know they even sell their babies. How come they could do? How come a young woman given birth to a child baby and then do that? That means just because you give birth to a baby, it doesn't mean that you always come up with metta, karuna, mudita, apeka. You are mostly coming up because you love him or her, but it is not always guaranteed. But the Buddha said parents are Brahmins because Mahabrahma, because as a point to the Brahmins, because there's no Mahabrahmin create us, it's only our parents who create us. Not even that, he said the connection between neutron and proton, right? In scientific ways, we can make it because yin yang concept, Sankhya concept, Prakriti Purusha, because mother represent something and father represents something. But Aliana, here when we talk about the 4 Brahma Viharas, it's a very higher concept. I think we have to go beyond the parents, because the reason is parents are not always naturally having these 4. Mostly they are very good. They have, definitely we can say we have that experience, but it's not guaranteed. So we have to go beyond the parental concept, but still the Buddha said they are Mahabrahmas. Buddha didn't say they have the 4 Brahma qualities. They say they are Mahabrahmas. Why is it? Because they are the ones who created us. Yeah, but it's a good point too. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante.
Mhm. So today will be the last day for the friends, and we will be going to the parental, what do you call, the responsibilities one by one from next week. Yeah. Hema, you have a question?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? We'll take a moment of time, maybe a minute.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's wrap this up by transferring good karmas to departed people and sharing good karmas with the devas, nagas, and brahmins. May all the good karmas which we been accumulating in all these ways be transferred to all the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us. If the departed people who passed away in the name of all of us were already reborn in a painful realm, like the 4 apayas, may they be able to be switched to or maybe reborn in a better place where they have comforts to practice, learn, practice Dhamma. If they are already reborn in a better place, may they be able to improve and finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayu. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayu. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayu. May all the good karmas which you've been accumulating in all these ways be shared by all the devas, nagas, and all the powerful Mahidhikas. May devas, nagas, and Mahidhikas be well and happy and protect and bless all of you, your family members, and everybody, even reverend monks and everybody, for good health, quality of life, comfort, safety, and all the good things in your life. May the devas, nagas, and Mahidhikas also finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu lokasasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti. Ittavata ca ammehi sambetang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata ca ammehi sambetang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata ca ammehi sambetang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. We're going to make a wish. This is the primary wish. May we be able to be in the company of the Kalyana Mittas, not with the Pavamittas, till we attain the Nibbana. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana pantiya. Finally, may all the good karmas which you've been accumulating in all these ways be supportive or helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm going to bless you a little bit more. Please receive the blessings. Abhivadana silis nichang vadha pachayino chattaru dhamma vadhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminchatu. By the noble power of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, may all your sicknesses go away, may all your fears go away, and may all your sufferings go away. May you all be safe, sound, and comfortable, and happy all the time. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That will be the end of today's discussion, and then look forward to the next one. Yeah. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, Bhante.
Thank you,
very much.
Bhante.
Take care.
Thank you, Bhante. Good night, Bhante.
You.
Good night,
Take
everyone.
care.
Good night.
Yes, good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Yeah,
Take
take
care.
care. Yeah. Lim, are you still on the way, or are you home?
I just already
Okay.
home.
Okay, great.
Bhante, you are the host. You can stop the
Oh,
Facebook
okay,
live.
okay. I will end.
Okay.
Stop.